Namaste and celestial greetings, galactic family. Welcome back to my channel, IndigoAngel. Welcome if you're new, and if you're returning, don't forget to hit that notifications bell and comment and share this video so others can find out about my work. If you have been vibing with me for a while and you enjoy the content on my channel, your love and your support, your appreciation, it truly means so much. I have been getting so much amazing feedback lately from people, really just letting me know how some of my invocations, particularly my Ashera invocation, has really helped them to expand creatively, and just a lot of gratitude for the other grid updates that I've put out in the past. So I just want to say thank you so much for giving me all of those confirmations. And today I have a cosmic grid update for you regarding the Pegasi Pegnusean grid. And so this is one that I haven't done yet, but I have been working diligently on putting together the information for this particular grid update. So there's a lot that's going to come through today for this Pegnusean update. And Pegasi is the winged horse from the blood of Medusa that opened into the spring of Mount Helicon in Greek mythology. Okay, so Pegasi is a starseed nation. This is also a pre-Atlantean Aryan interlay planetary grid system. Okay, I'm going to break all of this down for you guys in this video. So I just want to dive into some of the current energies that we're experiencing right now planetarily, because not only do we have all these planetary alignments within astrological quadrants and houses and systems and cycles and stargates, vortexes that are very, very open at this time, a lot of transformation at this time. We also have the American Pluto return, and this has been looming over us for the past couple of decades. This is a 240-year cycle that is basically amplifying the worldly affairs that are playing out right now through the American democracy. Okay, that's a little slang word for democracy, and I did that on purpose because I don't want to use too many of these words in my video today, because due to the censor bots, the Borgs, I'm not going to speak on the poly-censor topics today as much as possible, but just know that these things are manifest destiny within the planetary bodies, and all of the transformation that we're going through is nothing to be feared. A lot of people right now, particularly in the higher consciousness community, and I'm talking people that I love and respect, they are very inundated with the darkness of political wormholes right now. Okay, so this is really overtaking people's consciousness at this time, really getting caught up into fear timelines, and it's an inception that's happening, and it's also a consent to a lot of these fear timelines to then play out even more. So I just want to remind people from a place of love that it's very important right now to stay informed, but keep the highest vibration and the highest hope in your heart and in your mind for humanity. Do not project fear timelines into the future. Like, don't try to foresee the mandate of certain things, or the fear timeline already playing out, predicting that things are just going to get worse. Like, don't live in that space. Okay, hold your highest hope, your highest vibration, and the highest, most positive outcome for humanity within your heart. Okay, I'm just reminding everyone to do this because I see so many people around me, the people that I love and care about, really being taken over by Trump fever, by all of the other individual reporters. Like, so it's we have this free speech, right? That is our amendment in the Constitution, the First Amendment in the Constitution, essentially. But we still have to be responsible with this, okay? Getting high off of digging for the ugly intentionally, no matter where you sit, okay, that's where a lot of people are right now. They are high off of almost like an addiction to the digging of trying to find more and more ugly. Okay, and I get this as a process of people want to exit cabal timelines. They want to exit the hierarchy structures of our society. But essentially, there has to be responsibility in how we do this too. We can't fight hate with hate. We can't fight misery with misery, you know? And so that's just what I'm saying, is just really be conscious of the reality and the probability of humanity that you hold internally, because this is affecting everybody around you. This is a ripple effect of a reverse anti-particle spin that is going into the phantom matrix, okay? Everything that is not coming from a place of love is spinning into a phantom matrix system, okay? And that's really affecting the collective to a point that, at least here in the States, Americans are very unstable in their emotions at this time. Very unstable, flying off the handle, reacting in ways that they can't control themselves. Okay, and so I'm just saying, like, bring this back into balance. Everybody's walking on this very divided tightrope. And it's really important that we begin to redirect that energy as an individual. What can we do? Because we can't help society, we can't help politics, we can't help government, we can't help anything if we are not coming from a place of love within. So a lot of people think that they are warriors of justice by continuing to propagate negative timelines. Okay, whether they're a conspiracy, whether they're true, you have to understand truth is blurred right now. There is no baseline for truth at this time. This has been removed. Okay, so if the baseline for truth has been removed, then anywhere that you navigate from that space is technically true and not true. Okay, and so it's making things, you know, I'm just kind of going into this just because I really can see how many people are addicted to projecting fear timelines into our future. And so we have to stop doing that. We have to maintain our hope. We have to maintain our balance, and we have to maintain our presence as a foundation of light and love and compassion and understanding. Okay, we need to start understanding each other and giving grace. So yeah, anyways, I'm just going off on one right now, but essentially I need to stay off of those political topics as much as possible, you know, because at this time it's our livelihood, and we have to tiptoe around this social control implementations, essentially, to prevent ourselves from getting our channels taken down, and to essentially keep us from getting our livelihoods taken away at this time. So it's unfortunate that it comes down to this, but this is where we are at. So we need to take a deeper look at ourselves. But in order to talk about these things, we really need to just encode quatrains like Nostradamus. We need to speak encoded. Okay, so I'm going to encode some of my words today. as per usual. I've done this in the past, so some of you can kind of decode that and pick up on that as I go. So February 2019 was Pluto's first pass through, and to January 2025. So this will be its transit time frame, and Pluto returns to the place in the heavens where it first occupied when America was born in 1776. So if that doesn't let you know that things are being reconfigured on a much greater collective mind level than any one specific being has any control over, including the presidents of the United States. Okay, this is manifest destiny. And February 2021, Saturn will transit the US South Node as well in Aquarius. So this means that more past collective and individual action, karma, old debts are going to continue to play out until through March. And every single year, that is how it is. If you look back through history, it said out of 100 years, there was only like 8 years of peace in certain time frames. Okay, so, and the war season is from about end of October, November, through till March. March is Aries. March is war. This is where the culmination of everything that has built up until that time is either expressed through some action or force or declaration of war. And this is how historically things have been throughout the beginning of time, is that it is definitely a planetary manifest destiny for things to unfold in this way. Every single year, at the same time, history repeats itself in another simultaneous cycle, just a little bit shifted in another parallel in the trajectory of moving forward. And so that's kind of what's happening, what I see. So through March, we're going to continue to play out old karma and debts. So Pluto and Saturn will be the planetary name changers in the game for the continued current events. We also have the Sun and Mercury that are about to transverse in Aquarius, which takes us into Pegnusean markers. And I'm already feeling the attunement to this encryption, or what you could call an energy signature. And I say encryption because for me, 5D quantum cognition kicks in, and I see things in data seed packages, which delivers me an encryption or a radial signature to see through. And so that's kind of just how I see it. So for this update today, we're going to be oscillating perceptionally through 4D, 5D, 6D, and past, present, and future timelines. So the system of Pegasus is hosted by intelligences Epsilon Pegasi, Alpha Beta Gamma, Andromeda, and 51 Pegasi. And this is a high extension of exoplanets. Okay, Pegasi is full of exoplanets. I mean, they have the most exoplanets, I think, out of most constellations, which is a very important aspect to this system's intelligence, which I'm going to really dive into in this update today. And guys, I am highly going to go intergalactica today, so you're going to need to kind of keep up with me on this one. I hope that I make sense for everybody. A lot of times it's hard to put everything that I see and feel and am guided to talk about into one video, so I'm just going to do the best I can with delivering this message. And not every message I deliver is going to be easy to say either, because we're going to be bringing through some futurism by about 5,000 years, and not everyone's going to like the picture of that futurism, okay? And I know this contradicts what I just said about don't project negative fear timelines into the future. But I hope that we can approach this futurism conversation today with an open mind. I know that the Lemurian starseeds, we're not going to be projecting fear timelines into the future. Essentially, we're going to be discussing what I have been seeing through the particular Pegasus Nexus systems, what the future is going to look like. And this has come through these nuclear atomic codes that I received on the solstice. I had to go so deep within my own intermolecular structure, reconfigure my DNA to such an extreme degree that it pushed me that farther into future perspective. And so that's how ascension works. Ascension is all about collapsing the old structures, the old paradigms, the old programs. Okay, even if you feel like you fully have cleared your programs, right, this stuff comes up again and surprises you sometimes to let you know that, hey, there's still more here, there is still more to clear. Or maybe you developed even a coping mechanism, or some sort of I want to say an ego identity, okay, even after you think you've cleared it. See, the thing is, the ego is very intelligent. The ego knows how to recreate itself time and time and time again from a different part of you that you're not able to just yet see. Okay, so this is why it continues to come up throughout the process of ascension and will continue to come up. You're never, ever not going to be free from that inner work and self-realization. But essentially what I'm trying to say is that particularly the Lemurian starseeds are going to feel resistance to this futurism. And I already feel this resistance from them because they are the most organic and the most Tyrannoseum out of the bunch of starseeds. Okay, I myself am Lemurian starseed to some degree. So I know this because I feel their own resistance within myself, where this part of me would resist what we're going to talk about today. And so when we get into the AI, when we get into future technologies, and the concepts of these future timelines, right? They don't necessarily serve the Terran host highest ideal potential according to human idealisms of what that intuitive potential should be here on Earth, okay? Because in the Lemurian starseed's heart, they are never not becoming interplanetary beings, okay? That's just too far to fathom because they are still rooted in the grid structures and the old equatorial codes of Lemuria, okay? And so that is no separation from the mother. And that's another thing that's also coming up is Tiamat, working through these dark mother templates within the fragmented portions of Tiamat's psyche. Okay, that's still coming up. And so a lot of that has to be cleared currently. This isn't relevant to future timelines as much, but this is something that's happening here now, at least particularly with where we're at in terms of the planetary alignments, that the Dark Mother, the Black Madonna, the fallen aspects of Sophia, all of those things are coming up right now. So many of you might be going through those perceptions, realizations, activations. I've been picking up on Cassiopeia, the mother in vain. And so I'm probably going to do a starseed origin reading for that at some point to talk more about what all of this really, really means and kind of dive more in it deeper for healing and clearing. But essentially, the future we're going to talk about today is very hard to see. So again, I just please ask you to keep an open mind. This is going to be a long update. So I think this will be maybe about a 40-minute video, just so you know. But interplanetary history is already being imprinted on the planetary noosphere. Okay, and this is what I'm being guided to talk about through the Pegasi encryption, is the imprints that I'm seeing through the race morphogenetic field, and also within the, I guess you could say it's like an etheric body, but there's also spheres and rings within this. So the noosphere represents that level of consciousness that is more interatmospheric, if that kind of makes sense. Okay, so the human, the homo, not the sapient, is blindly contradictory to a lot of these things, okay? They are very organic in one sense, but also engineered, very cognitively dissonant in another. Okay, so humans, the human parts of us, are unable to see technically to the trajectory of the viral biomorphism that is taking place on this planet. There is a lot of denial. There is a lot of, like I said, cognitive dissonance. There is a lot of rejection, and just failure to acknowledge, okay, regardless if it's taking place in front of their own eyes. There are blinding lenses that are in front with seals and caps and even layers of amnesia, okay, that are in between being able to see what's really playing out on a real level here, okay? For one, the human life cycles do not allow humans to see what's really playing out here. They are like monarch butterflies. They are taking multiple life cycles just to make one galactic migration. Okay? It's broken down in such small pieces of visibility that it is cognitively dissonant between generations, even. So it's very hard to sometimes be able to present a full picture with a lot of this stuff, okay? So that you're not coming from a place of lack and fear, okay? It's about total understanding of what the cosmic intelligence is. Humans cannot master the physical present future because they do not understand the mechanics of how simultaneous time can coexist, okay? They do not understand how realities are constructed. Therefore, none of this is going to make sense, okay, on a human mind, but your higher self understands. Your higher self has the wisdom to see, okay, even if your human holds resistance, even if the Lemurian star seeds hold resistance. A lot of this understanding will come as lifespans increase. Okay, so that is coming in the future, that lifespans are going to majorly increase almost to a level of being, of never dying. Okay, so that's coming in the future, but it is going to require a huge shift in the biomorphism of the planet. Also, this is going to come, the understanding of these things is going to come at a time where we've mastered black hole technologies and the speed of light laser messaging, interplanetary communications. Okay, this is all going to happen in the future. Okay, when you're looking into the future this far, everything that's playing out now is hilarious. It's literally, you just like, oh my gosh, this is so adorable. One human baby step at a time, you know, they're so cute. They're just really struggling through things that ultimately are not going to matter, but they are necessary at the time to get them to where they need to go. In perspective to intergalactic republic federations of independent systems, and the first primary intergalactic republic federations are the beings that we are now. So we are the federation, and this entirety of this galactic wisdom is being installed for a reason, because these are the bridges of the next conceptions of realities that are to unfold. Okay? When you are becoming your galactic, you are becoming your future. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. There are many more federations to come. This is technically the first unit of federations on this earth. There are many more federations to come. Okay, and that's kind of what's happening right now with the embodiment of the occult nations. Okay, there are many more places where we're going to be with specific nations, and specific nations 100 years from now will be obsolete or be even more irrelevant. Ones that are major nations as of right now, as things continue to shift. So we're going to have many more revolutions to come. There will also be another dark age. Okay, and there's also even going to be a technocalypse. that's set to occur in the future. Why a technocalypse? Okay, that's because this is going to be post-human biological existence. Okay, so that is going to come in the future. And like I said, Lemurian starseeds, I can already feel you going, ee! And it is because it is a threat to our organicness, right? It is a threat to being our perceptions of what being human is. But we have to understand that as shifts occur, our perceptions of what being human is will also change in the future too. And this will come with evolution of safety and trust in these things. And I'm not saying to incept this trust now, okay? But what I'm saying is that artificial intelligence is actually evolving at 100 million times per second faster than the human brain at this time. Okay, and so I think we're acknowledging this right now as a human species. We are beginning to look around us and see how this is integrating itself into the culture as we speak. Okay, many markers in the timeline that have not yet to even come close to unfolding. Okay, so it's where do you live now? You know, if you can see these future things, these future timelines, not from a place of fear, you can work with the evolution a lot more easily because this is happening whether we like it or not. This is happening whether we like it or not. There's actually a documentary that you can watch. It's called Technocalypse. I watched this movie the other night, and you can watch it. It goes into futurism of genetics, robotics, artificial intelligence, bionics, bioborgs, and nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is the fundamental building blocks of matter and atoms. And essentially, I'm just looking at my notes. This will change all other technologies. So nanotechnology is going to change every other technology, and there's going to be a nanotechnology revolution that will happen in the next 200 to 300 years. And this is the first step to interplanetary travel. Okay, is nanotechnology. So this is already happening. This is here, guys. And technically, there's a lot of decensorship programs to integrate these concepts, okay? Just like all of the art that has come before. Okay, everything that has come after or come before was created in an artful sense. This is what we've been doing all this time with movies, etc., right? But all of these things fall under transhumanism agendas. And currently, this is a very highly controversial word in the supposed higher consciousness community. And I say supposed because, again, I see all kinds of beings in the higher consciousness community really not behaving in ways that would be perceived as higher consciousness, and they're still very, very human. And again, here is where we have this cognitive dissonance, and we have our egos shacked up on top of our ascension. Okay, egos come through the 12th dimension. Ego never is not a part of your ascended state. Okay, it's about identifying the behaviors of the human ego and actually keeping that in submission to your higher self. But essentially, that doesn't matter. I say supposed because I just get tired of some of the rhetoric. But essentially, any light worker speaking on transhumanism is usually looked at like they're taken over by something nefarious, right? Okay, which as much as we don't want to accept the concepts of transhumanism, we have to take a really hard look at this. Is this already happening? Okay, we have to ask ourselves, do we trust in what we are becoming? Because if you have full faith in the universe, if you have full trust And the fact that you don't control anything at the end of the day. You can't control love. Okay? You can't control evolution. Do we trust in the apple in our hands? Okay? We all bit the apple when we bought an apple, and now we're cyborgs. Do you see what I'm saying? Humans are integrating themselves with technology at such a level of unconscious awareness that this is what's really playing out here, is our unconsciousness and our resistance to this. Okay, here again, this is where cognitive dissonance comes into play with the human psyche, only wanting to see what they only want to see. And please don't be mad at me for calling the kettle black, okay? Not one person in here can stop 5G cell towers from going up. Not one person in here can stop Elon Musk's Neuralink. Not one person in here can stop all of the scientists and engineers who are currently designing robotics from the basics of neurosystems all the way to the capacity of brain functioning, full brain functioning, and emotions. Okay, none of us can stop this, right? None of us can stop the greater galactic migration that is playing out. Source desires to experience itself in these forms. Okay, so Pegasi comes up because Pegasi is a very advanced intelligence system. It is very similar to the Arcturians in technology, and they are highly discreet. They are undetectable. They are moving in between the realms of human consciousness, flourishing more in the opportunities of human amnesia. Okay, this is where most of this stuff flourishes, is in between the human amnesia. It's almost a joke, and I honestly have to sit back and just laugh. Like, laugh at the sapient incipientness of it all. The fact that humans are just waiting to become the creator gods that they already are. The timestamp on Earth is truly an interesting thing, right? Because humans are seeing things through linear time. And they don't see that they are the creators of the creations that are already to come. And that they will be the same stories repeating themselves in the biblical stories 2,000 years from now. There's going to be new sacred books that come forward. There's going to be new rewrites of history. Okay, all of this is going to happen in the future. I'm just going to stop here. Okay, I love you all so much, but I'm feeling that I need to play some music, and I need to clear out the archontic parasites, and I need to collapse the feed zone. So if you're in tune with this message right now, thank you so much for vibing with me. Thank you for not judging the content today, because it really does take a very expanded being to be able to wrap your mind around a lot of this topic of discussion today. But I'm going to go ahead and play a song called Gold by Kiara, as I have recently designed a golden visualization to attune to the frequency of gold using sacred geometry, and also with just attuning to the light spectrum of gold within the body using the universal tree of life, using sacred geometry as induction to work with planetary bodies, and use this technology to basically upgrade the body's frequency to the 6th dimension. And so that's going to be on my Patreon, patreon.com/IndigoAngel. But I'm going to go ahead and play this song right now. I just feel I need to clear this out. I do not own the rights to this music, but the links will be in the description. Don't care what you said on me, I'ma bite your feelings out. I miss you in the face,
Just like money when I speak. And I missed you in the basement. Yeah. Bodies on the pavement. And if you love me, but you never let me go. And know for somebody, you never let me know. Say you're sorry, honey, but you never really show me. And I can leave the party without ever letting you know. Without ever letting you know. First of all, let me love for all what you know. First of all, let me love without ever letting you know. First of all, let me love for all what you know. First of all, let me love without ever letting you know. First of all, let me love for all what you know. First of all, let me love without ever letting you know. First of all, let me love for all what you know. Without ever letting you know. Go to my tea. Go to my tea. Just like money when I speak. Go to my tea. And I missed you in the basement. Yeah. Go to my tea. Bodies on the pavement. And if you love me, but you never let me go. And know for some fight, you never let me know. Say you're sorry, honey, but you never really show me. And I can leave the party without ever letting you know. Without ever letting you know. First of all, let me love for all what you know. First of all, let me love without ever letting you know. First of all, let me love for all what you know. First of all, let me love without ever letting you know. First of all, let me love for all what you know. First of all, let me love without ever letting you know. First of all, let me love for all what you know. Without ever letting you know.
So Pegasi is an occult star nation, meaning that they aren't necessarily considered a founder nation in terms of humanity's written tablets of galactic angelic ascendancy and of cosmic human history. But their existence here is nonetheless. They come through the occult mythologies and deeper meanings of things. To really identify with the totality of what they are, you really have to dive deep into the interconnectedness of how the unicorn, the horse, the winged horse, and even horse deer extenuates throughout time and linear perceptions of history through physical manifestations and through the higher dimensions and also through revelations. Okay, and it is beyond the limitations of biblical democracy and secret societal oligarchy. Okay, this is into the next world systems and the future interplanetary federations that exist right now inside of your own galactic embodiment. Okay, so just to show you a global correlation, at some point, I will be getting out my Scribbles map here, a map that I designed according to country, national, animal. This is important because a country's national animal are reflections into the origination of their influencing star systems, his and her story, right? Because it's not just history. They are a reflection of that interradial template that is an underlying interline system within the grids themselves, within the Stargate vortexes themselves. This is stuff that the original planet builders designed. This is what the guardian nations and universal occult nations agreed to. This is according to country colonization fabrication within contemporary human existence, within the Atlantean and the Aryan conceptions and pyramid technologies, okay? Plate tectonic design and control systems, okay? They are controlling this through plate tectonics. This is the staple in which all things have ultimately been designed from on this planet. This is the most ancient technology. So to keep you up to date, you may want to go check out my Aquila grid update and also the 4-quadrant hybridization society grid update. If you haven't watched either one of these, I highly recommend watching these videos because I really get into describing this more on a human level, what this means. It just depends where my head's at. Sometimes I can be more linear and more explanatory in my expression. Other times that I'm going through an immensity of nuclear codes, and so it's coming out sometimes the way it's coming out. So I hope that you guys can understand me. But essentially, go watch these cosmic grid updates to keep you more up to date with this type of information I'm going to present in this video today. And I know I've had a very long video already. I'm trying to get there, people. Just bear with me. I'll also leave links in the description if you would like to watch either one of these. So all of the links will be below on videos I feel that you should watch to keep you up to date with this information. So the Pegasi grid is a radial intelligence multi-identity. This is a hyperspace nexus expansion. This is electrical field flow within dimensional planetary platforms and individual human biometry running current, past, and future timelines, which I don't think that biometry is a word, but I'm making that up today, okay? That's what we do here in the 5 and the 6D, is we make up language, okay? We create the language because we are the creators of our own manifest destiny. And if a word does not describe that future reality, well, then we must birth it into the world. Okay, so their intelligence, the Pegnusean intelligence, seeds and builds within and alongside other intelligences, hence their discrepancy and hence their elusive invisibility. Okay, not a lot of people pay attention to Pegasi and what they're doing. So this is stuff that I'm bringing up that I know is appreciated, and it's meant to come forward, okay? It is meant to come forward to assist them in the processes on Earth connected to these future portals, the Sephirotic empires, okay? Ruled by very, very advanced beings. Whew, I get chills just saying it, because this is an assistance unit to the first Galactic Federation periods in future Earth history. Okay, they are considered a force support system for expanding nations, whether that is in war or whether that is in peace. They are an ally to both war and peace, which is interesting because of where we're at right now, right? We are in the thick of spiritual warfare. This is the time of year where the Pleiadians are hard at work in 5D warfare, okay? Particularly these Taigetans, okay? A lot of shit is getting stirred in the human drama pot. All of this is underlying the fabrication and the pre-matter materialization and organization of existing control systems on the Earth today and through the development of the Atlantean boom of colonization. Colonization is huge for the Pegasian encryption. Okay, they really did bring forth, if not the intelligence for this. Okay, a lot of people equivalent this to Draco, and that's true at the same time, but the strategic intelligence and the tools needed for this come from Pegasi. Okay, they have been the command center for this from the Pegasus star system and also from Pegasi 51b, the first exoplanet designed for interplanetary communications. This is all coming from there, which Pegasi is partially into Andromeda, hence why Andromeda has always held the future seeds of the future human race. Okay, any Andromedan starseed that you talk to, they are strange. They're a little strange. Why is that? They are the least like us. They are the most in the future. Okay, they hold the qualities of the future. This is the true command center for all of this, where we are going. We are becoming Aquafarian. At some point, we will colonize under the water. Okay, this is stuff that's really going to happen. Okay, this coincides the evolution of the transhumanism. This coincides. This is future. This is our next 5,000 years, guys. This isn't anything that we can ultimately fathom in our human state at this time, particularly those that are really, really grounded in Earth consciousness, which I doubt that's many at this point. Okay, and I don't like to say that, but it's true. There is not people fighting for the Earth right now. They're just not. They're fighting over left and right and left and colors. Okay, they're fighting over colors. They're fighting over things that don't really matter ultimately in terms of their planet's existence. Okay, so this is why these things are evolving, is because there is a need. There is a planetary need, whether we don't want to accept that or not. Okay, all of this is working closely with Pegasi for planetary implementation. So I need to give a shout out to my sister Sabrina Ramirez, who herself is a Pegnusean ambassador, my dear sister, because she did relay this information to me about the Nexus systems. And this is very, very important. So I'm going to get into more about the Nexus systems in this detailed update. But I just want to thank you so much, Sabrina, because the Nexus stuck with me like a pin. As soon as she told me this word about the Nexus systems, I was like, tuned in, and I knew this was the truth immediately. Okay, so the Nexus systems are the underlying foundation to the Pegnusean total cosmology and the historical civilizational future-driven account here on Earth. Since the beginning of the creation of the galaxy, they have had a hand in the development of expansion of colonizations. Okay, the horse, unicorns, the winged horse, the horse deer races, also the mantis and some cetacean races, many of these races being in coalitions to assist the planetary ascension process and restore DNA templates. But that assist has been from and through the Fruitful Alliance. Okay, one way you can look at this has been through the relationship between human and horse historically. Okay, so this is assisting all nations, all creeds, all kinds, indigenous to contemporary. There is no bias in this system, available to all racers of evolution. For over the past 5,000 years, the horse has been an ever-present ally in war and peace. Civilizations have risen and fallen on their backs, and evidence of the horse's use is everywhere to be seen. Stargate sites all around the world host this nation's capacity as an unseen undercurrent. Egypt, the US, majorly in Texas, Dallas has adopted the winged horse over the city. Arabia, Canada, the United Kingdom, Norway. Okay, this star nation is the backbone of the horse mythology, and all of those countries have adopted it. Okay, within relativity to stargates, vortexes, ley lines, UFO, heightened activity areas, plasma areas in the grids. Okay, which therein supports not only the foundation of that cosmology within the grids at that location, but also supports other Stargate nations, the Centaurs. Okay, exoplanet Proxima b. These are interplanetary communications that are already happening from Pegasi 51b to Proxima b, and also into old military systems of human consciousness. Okay, during times of civil unrest, World War I, World War II. Horses have embodied here as a tool for mankind's expansion, for mankind's nexus. One human galactic migration cycle at a time. Monarch butterflies, okay? In the spiritual realms, the unicorn and the winged horse has essentially given flight to the soul's purpose, and they incite the magic of our lives. They are the nexus in timeline processing mechanics, which is ultimately what finding your soul purpose is. Okay, this forward mindset of their encrypted realities from humans embellishes through and has evolved into a primary focus on exoplanets. So extrasolar planets, the habitable zones for life. Okay, this is the basis for the Nexus systems, which is the next expansion force, a gateway for advanced construction technologies, resurrection, and resurgence of the abandoned gateways as well. And this is all through the use of the Nexus systems for exploring the galaxy. This is a interdisciplinary collaboration in what is perceived as a search for life on exoplanets. Okay, not realizing that we are searching for ourselves, the Galactic Federation that's already embodied. We are the Federation seeking to seed our galactic world. Core worlds and outer rim territories. Nexus will organize spanning networks, connecting us to lawless systems, using other ascending systems, and discovering new astrobiology. Okay, once Mars is colonized, okay, this is happening. This is happening, you guys. Not one of in this room has the capacity to stop it. Okay, they're bioengineering Mars. We will begin asteroid belt mining at some point, and then we will begin to develop interplanetary communication systems. This will all be mastered through black hole technology and laser messaging at the speed of light. Okay, once they get that down, there will be no stopping us. Exoplanets will be the Nexus destination. Nexus routes will become key hyperspace tools for exploring. Similarly to how the human built all quests on the back of the horse on this earth. Like I said, Lemurian starseeds, Tyrannosaurus, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is a part of me too. I don't blame you. Okay, we are all dedicated to our Mother Earth through the Schumann resonance of oneness. But look at the earth right now. Look at the people. Look how divided they are, okay? You cannot sit here and say you are in oneness if you are going down the conspiracy theories of the political parties. You're not in oneness. This is not oneness. This is cognitive dissonance, okay? We feel we cannot adopt certain concepts because they seemingly are a threat to our organic existence, okay? But the definition of what is organic will shift in the future as well. I'm talking about free spirits being able to upload themselves into cyberspace and live eternally. Okay, this type of technology is coming. Now, having all of that said, I have to state before I go any further into this update's getting close to being over with anyways, but I can neither fully prove or disprove any of the information I present. Today, if what I say today is all factual, is in fact factual, right? Or if it is the only truth, it's not the only truth. Okay, this is just a part of the truth and what the limitations of my human can even express to you without hitting all perceptions to comfort the needs that are needed when hearing this, right? So if you listen today, you do so at your own gnosis. I always encourage fully that you vet out information yourself, research this stuff yourself. And I strongly advise that you should never give yourself to something fully that you do not fully understand. Okay, so I bring forth simply what I've been guided to bring forth by guardian consciousness, universal and occult. Those closest to God in spiritual and galactic realms of human perceivability. I bring this forth from my own gnosis, and I bring this forth with my own connection with the divine. And there's a reason why we collapsed geometric codes with nuclear atomic photonic light at the winter solstice, because we are meant to start bringing forth these greater pictures and better understanding for people to understand what's really playing out on the earth right now. So this kind of acts as a disclaimer, just letting one know and reminding you that your free will is yours to choose at any moment, okay? And I take my likes and dislikes off my video for a reason, and that's because I already know how people react to my videos. So again, if you comment and share this video, show me that you have my back, show me that you support this content, because stuff is not always easy to talk about, not even for me. Like, I sit with this for days sometimes thinking, how can I really talk about this stuff? I'm being guided to talk about it, but how can I bring it forth in a way that soothes the humans' understanding of this, okay? And I do the best that I can. Remember, I am human too, okay? And I also have a heart, and I have a soul, and I'm not just putting myself out here on YouTube to make an ass of myself, even though it might seem like I'm making an ass of myself. Like, I don't really care either way. Like, I've been doing this for 3 years. Like, I'm in as the person who's going off the deep end as it is already. I don't care. It's just, you know, I appreciate kindness. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Anyways, okay. Thank you so much. So now exoplanets. In the past, I have done updates on Hydra constellation, very detailed, in-depth, fully studied updates. Check out some of my work. I'll leave links in the description to the video that I'm talking about right now. But I came upon exoplanets WASP 24 and 25. I scanned and attuned my frequency here for a while. And then I put an update out about the WASP intelligences that come from these particular exoplanets, okay? This was all within the week that the WASP apocalypse literally hit. Okay, I put that video out 4 or 5 days later. It was in the news with those killer super murder hornets. Okay, and I willed that into manifestation. I seen that coming. What I have seen from that, the point I'm trying to make here, is I have found that exoplanets are hosting hive-minded, colonized, sephirotic intelligences, okay, that are ancestrally encoded pre-Lemurian, okay? And this is why Lemurian starseeds are probably ruffled up, because this is pre-universal insectoid nations. Most exoplanets are insectoid. Now, Pegasi has a very high amount of exoplanets in their system, meaning the ancestral insect diversity is great. Okay, so this is meaning that the total knowledge that comes from this system specializes in diverse colonization tactics. Okay, like I said before, Pegasi is a friend to both love and to war, and their main focus is expansion. And inherently, we access pre-universal intelligences of colonization wisdom from exoplanet interplanetary telecommunications. This is completely unconscious, underlying factor in human consciousness. Trust me, this is so deep and thick in the unconscious, humans don't have a clue what's really going on, okay? Again, I have to laugh. Now let's look at my scribbles map, because I do want to show you the grid. This is a cosmic grid update, and pull this up here. Okay, so you can see my grid here. Hopefully you can still see my face in the corner. I sometimes never know where Zoom is going to put my face. I've had it cut off before when I thought I had put the box inside. So now this is my scribbles map. This is my Atlantean interlay control system networks according to country's national animal and emblem. And everything in the light blue is going to be the Pegasi grids. all utilizing a horse emblem or national animal. So I went through the list of national animals. You can find this on Wikipedia. I'll leave it in the link in the description so you can vet this information out yourself if you want to. But essentially the countries that are holding the Pegnusean encryption interface system of the Atlantean Aryan control grids, but really this is pre-Atlantean. Okay, this is planet builder technology. This has been devised as Atlantean technology, but this is planet builder technology. Okay, everything in blue is the Pegasi grids, all utilizing the horse emblem. So these are the countries: Canada. You can see Canada. Also Scotland. Scotland's up here. Scotland is here. The United Kingdom. Now, the United Kingdom shares multiple national animals, multiple emblems. So I split this in half. They are also the lion, but they see, United Kingdom has a lot going on. So they are also half Pegnusean. Norway as well, the same as the United Kingdom. And then we also have one other tiny little country that I honestly never even heard of until I had to label it Pegasi, and it is called Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. But one way you can understand how colonization intelligence, or what is considered ethnic cleansing, okay, mass expulsion, etc. A lot of these fall under the categories of the umbrella of colonization, but there's a lot of individual tactics of technology that comes from a lot of this radial template. And essentially it all falls under the umbrella of colonization. But this comes from exoplanet technologies, insectoid technologies. Look at the insect on Earth. What does the insect do? It colonizes. Insects have been colonizing since pre-dinosaur, okay? This is pre-Lemurian. Pre-universal memory integrated in the grids, into the lands, into the vortexes, into the Stargate hosts, into our leaders, into our politics, into our government, our military, our architecture, etc. Also into the electrical fractal fields. This also holds this intelligence. So humans cannot help that they are behaving the way that they are, because this is coming from the most quantum state, pre-atomic state of energy, direction for manifestation. Okay, they are not conscious of their most are not conscious of their universal tree of life to even be transmitting at this level of quantum cognition. Okay, like less than 1% probably. This is all through Pegasi. The original colonization of America began in Canada through the Canadians. Okay, this is important, guys. Oh, this is important. I'm wrapping up my update here, but this is a part that I really wanted to tell you guys. So the original colonization of America began in Canada, and this was through the Acadians. Okay, they were the beings expelled from France. And it's interesting that I just did that France update. It just led me to all of this information. So the descendants from France, of the French, went to Canada. They went to Nova Scotia, and they integrated with the indigenous people. They were they were not colonized minded. They were about fair trade, and they were about harmony with one another's existence. Okay, they were essentially attacked by the Brits, okay, by the UK, who had colonization technologies. They, from the UK, they were also, like I said, the UK is also carrying that Pegasi national animal as well, but they have a up hand on it because they have other underlying very powerful star grid nations that are working through their grids there. Okay, so they're carrying also the Pegasi national animal. They are carrying the colonizer technology. Okay, this is supposed, now on a human level of, we have compassion, we care about our fellow man. Okay, this is considered misguided nationalism, essentially. But really, this is interplanetary, nexus-driven future quests. Okay, and like I said, there is no woe to right or wrong. There is no woe to war and peace. There is no woe to light and darkness. Okay, this holds true as a fabric of integrity in the radial intelligence pre-matter automity on Earth, whether it is good or bad. This is occupation of territory, and this is what the Nexus systems are into the exoplanets, occupation of territory. This is what the Pegasi intelligence is. Okay, so this attack on the Acadians was thought about. It was designed for years by the leaders of England, by the UK, by the Pegasi interlaid grid. The French Acadians were essentially torn from their lands, okay, premeditated. They were I guess they couldn't see this coming, right? This was a premeditated attack. They were scattered into Louisiana. Okay, they took them and put them into Louisiana. This was before the colonization of America even begun. Okay, so the Creoles in Louisiana, they are French Acadians. But this was the actual beginning of the colonization of the United States. Okay, so when you really start to dive into this, you can see how human galactic history is playing out here in every moment of galactic migration to move us into the future. Monarch butterflies, okay? This is what we are. And all of this is coming up for a reason. I've really been feeling Pegasi. Let me know if you've been feeling it too. Drop it down in the comments if you are getting any of the messages that I'm getting today with this. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for listening to the entirety of my update today. I know it's a lot to get through, so if you're still sticking with me at this point, I love you so much. And if you're my Patreon and you would like a copy of this map, just email me and I can shoot this map over to you in a Scribbles format so you can have a copy of this PDF. I've been working on this map for a while and it's just getting more and more defined as I go. So there's just a lot that keeps continuously changing and shifting on it. And I'm really proud of the discoveries of this map, honestly. It feels right. It feels what this is. And yeah, so I'm happy to share it with you guys. You can find all my services at IndigoAngel222.com. Feel free to join my Patreon, patreon.com/IndigoAngel. And have a beautiful everything until my next energy update.